Well, since the advent of short-term rental companies like Airbnb, Vrbo, Vacasa, because of their convenience, we've seen a lot of their influence spread out across the state. So now, because of a long-term rental crunch, especially here in the Treasure Valley, we're in that phase of balancing the businesses of allowing people to rent out their homes to strangers in town for the short term, while also considering the long-term impact. Did you know until recently, Boise didn't have real ordinances or licensing requirements for things like Airbnbs? Well, that's going to change in a few weeks because Boise City Council passed new code for short-term rentals that do go into effect in May. Joe Paris spoke with the city of Boise about the changes short-term landlords can expect to see.
If you operate a short-term rental or Airbnb in the city of Boise, before May 1st, there's something crucial you need to take care of.
As of May 1st, short-term rental operators will be required to have a license.
Nikki Hellenkamp is the mayor's housing advisor at the city of Boise. She says that the recently passed ordinance addresses feedback from Boise residents that operations like Airbnbs or VRBO rentals should be licensed in Boise. Hellenkamp says that they've made it simple for operators to apply and get licensed.
Very easy to get one. You can just go online and fill out just some basic information about the property and your contact information, and then you'll be licensed.
Cost for a license is $80 a year per property, and that covers the administrative costs for the licensing program. The city is trying to bridge short-term rental concerns from the community while also creating accountability for operators who rent out for short spans of time.
Many short-term rental operators here in our community are folks who care very much about the neighborhoods that their homes are in. They want the homes that they operate to be assets to their community. And they're also commercial businesses that are operating in residential neighborhoods. So sometimes there are impacts on the neighbors.
Things like noise, trash, liability, and parking are major concerns for some neighbors in Boise. The new ordinance creates standards that operators need to meet, like requiring liability insurance, maintaining trash services, and having a local contact available to address issues. Some vendors have voiced complaints, for example, that operations don't have someone local to answer to legitimate concerns, things like noisy guests and garbage flowing into the street.
If it's a different set of guests every weekend, you can't necessarily address the problem with, your rotating cast of characters here. So just having the contact information where they'd be able to contact the city and say, can you help us get in touch with, this owner, or make them aware of the issue that we're having so that we can just get it addressed, is one of the components, just so somebody's reachable.
The new code also requires safety equipment in rentals like smoke detectors, carbon monoxide detectors, and fire extinguishers. The city is working to get short-term rentals ready for the changes that go into effect May 1st. After that day, there will be enforcement of the new code.
Our code compliance office is always just trying to bring people into compliance. Usually it's just an education issue of, oh my gosh, I had no idea I even had to do this. And folks are usually pretty appreciative of the information and are willing to just, sign up. Like I said, it's really easy and can just be done online.
The new licensing requirement will also give better data on how many short-term rentals are actually operating in the Boise area and what the impact of that is.
It kind of comes down to the question of, well, how many are listed elsewhere? How many are we talking about that are maybe not going to be captured on your big platforms? And how can we capture the information about the entire market?
All right, Joe, she mentioned the code compliance office that deals with some of these things already, but how aggressively or how will they be enforcing this stuff?
Well, there's an understanding that when the month of May starts, that it's not going to immediately, every short-term rental in the area is going to be immediately ready to go. They understand that there are some changes that need to be made, as well as some paperwork that needs to be filed with the city of Boise. So they are going to be serious about this, but like you just heard in our interview, this is more of teaching people about, okay, these are going to be the expectations going forward. You need to, by rule and by law, get these things taken care of, safety things, carbon monoxide detectors, fire extinguishers, etc. But in terms of getting the license just to operate the short-term rental, they're very serious about this, and you do need to go get one of these things. This isn't one of these things you'll be able to, escape below the radar. So on May 2nd, are they going to knock on everyone's door? No, but it is understanding that, okay, we need to get this done. We are going to be serious about controlling the situation.
Aside from the licenses, I mean, some of these companies already have these kind of codes in place that you have to, fire extinguishers, that kind of stuff, or smoke detectors. This just adds another layer
Yeah.
of making sure.
This is a catch-all. So if an independent company doesn't maintain something or require something, now there's a local ordinance in Boise that says, okay, you at least have to do this according to the city.
All right. Thank you, Joe.